Film Pulse is supported by the kind donations from listeners like you. Please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmpulse for just $1 a month and help keep the podcast on the air. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Going balls out in the lumberyard.
Watching the Grunion crawl Magi. If you're listening to this, don't even waste your time.
Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 247. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How are you, Kevin?
Doing alright.
We're also joined by Ryan Holes. How are you?
Pretty good.
What movie did we have you watch this week?
Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice. This is from 1993. This is written and directed by John Singleton. Picked this in honor of All Eyez On Me coming out this week, the Tupac biopic. This movie stars Tupac Shakur alongside Janet Jackson. I have a synopsis here. In this film, we see the world through the eyes of main character Justice, a young African-American poet. A mail carrier invites a few friends along for a long overnight delivery run. What? That's what... That's what it says on...
Is that a thing in the 90s?
I don't know. That's what it says on IMDb. A mail carrier invites a few friends along for a long overnight delivery run.
You guys, do you fucking remember those mail delivery parties in the early 90s?
Oh, man. They were so epic.
Oh, they were so great. You just get everybody together when you had to do those runs. You're delivering that mail, and you guys are just hanging out and chilling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So... Ryan, tell us a little bit about Poetic Justice.
Well, I need to say, first of all, they had many adventures that were like 1990s related adventures.
Ooh, classic 90s adventures?
Yes. Okay, so there's a squirrel, her name is Justice, and you find out that her grandma passed away like 2 years beforehand, and her mom committed suicide a couple years beforehand. So it's only her, and she has a house, and she has a cat. So, and they make a big deal of introducing the cat, and the only reason I can think of is to prove that she's in a deep depression. And she's on her way to becoming a cat lady.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a friend who is dating the guy that works at the post office with Tupac. And there is music being recorded by Tupac's cousin. So their plan is to all go and meet up with them and listen to them in Oakland. So they do that. And that's where the post office truck comes in. And it's kind of weird because at the beginning of the journey, they're all like, this girl, Janet Jackson and Tupac barely know each other. And they're kind of in their own world in the front seat. And in the back of the truck, the other two are kind of in their own little world back there. Their own little world, I mean, at one point they're actually having sex while being driven in a mail truck. And no one seems to hear anything. They go this mail truck. There are a few points where the first thing they do is they go to a barbecue, a family barbecue, and they pretend to be part of this family. And I kind of remember people in movies back in the 90s doing that a lot in real life. I think it was fun.
And in real life.
Funny. So
Okay.
they go to this place and they hang out with some people and eat some food. And the other guy and girl end up getting pissed off at each other because the girl flirts with another guy, even though every other woman she meets there, she tells them that they're married. So everyone's like, why the fuck, why are you with your husband? Why are you flirting with dude? So they continue their journey and they go to a fair, like a carnival type fair, and they do some more talking and find out a little more about each other. And then they continue their journey. They stop again, but the other two are arguing. And they get out of the truck, continue arguing outside. And the guy ends up punching a girl in the face.
Damn.
And Jim's reaction is like, are you gonna do anything about this? And Tupac's like, nope, I'm not. It's not my business. So she is in a truck. Runs up to the other guy, kicks him in the balls. And once he regains, I guess, feeling, he goes to her, at which point Tupac jumps out of the truck and, breaks him up. And they end up leaving this guy on the side of the road. And they return home after all their journeys. They return home and they find out that this cousin that made music with Tupac, he ended up being killed. And Tupac blamed a translation on the fact that if they were hanging out or if they weren't too enough and only did what they had to do, he would have been back in time to save him. So they're angry at each other for like 2-3 months. And then out of nowhere, Tupac goes into the hair salon with his daughter. The hair salon where they can work. And they end up sharing touching moments. And I assume they become together. And that's it.
All right. So what'd you think of it?
I saw it before when I was little.
Oh.
I was a little younger.
All right.
And it was cool.
Did it hold up?
I thought it did. Like, the very opening scene was Jill's reaction with her other boyfriend at a drive-in movie theater. And he is played by Q-Tip, which I completely forgot about. But that got me excited because that guy's pretty neat.
That guy's pretty neat.
He ends up getting shot in the face. And then the whole movie continues obviously about him because he's dead.
Yeah.
I like how you have to point out that it continues without him.
I never saw this movie. Kevin, have you seen this movie?
I think I have.
I don't think I have.
I mean, I might have when I was younger and just, completely forgotten it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible because my brother was a huge Tupac fan, so I could definitely see us renting this.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it. Was it a comedy? Because from a lot of the stuff you're describing, sounds like it was kind of goofy.
No.
So it was all just played straight?
It was like a drama / love story.
I mean, I knew that there was obviously the love story was front and center, but I didn't know the whole like mail truck going around, going to parties,
Yeah,
pretending
I
like you're
forgot
supposed to
all
be
about
there.
all that.
Just it sounded like a fun romp through. Where does it take place? Compton.
Yeah.
It sounded like a fun romp through Compton.
And young Dr. Dre is in it, which
No, he's not.
is,
Who's
that
Dr. Dre?
made me excited because it brought back to the 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean, looking at this movie, I don't know if there is a more 90s movie than this. I love that Tupac had a nose ring. I think that people seem to forget the fact that Tupac was rocking the nose ring, but he made it work. Like
I often wondered why.
There's not why it worked or why he had one.
Why I had one.
It was
Good.
just a fashion choice.
He didn't give a shit.
But he's like one of the only men that I know of that could be like, yeah, I have a nose ring, and you still think he's sort of a badass.
Which is odd too that you haven't really seen more people do it. I think there's some. You know, I think like 2 Chainz maybe. I'm thinking
really?
I'm thinking 2 Chainz.
Oh,
It
maybe.
could be wrong. It could be wrong, but I think there's somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
think
think-
you are right because yeah.
There weren't even a lot of like men that had nose rings back in the 90s. I mean, it was more prevalent, but you still didn't see that many men that had. You saw a lot of women that had
Yeah,
nose
I
rings.
totally expected Jet Jackson to have one, Tupac not them.
So your
But in fact, it was the exact opposite.
Oh, flipping the
See?
script.
So your expectations of nose rings was just upended.
Right.
The
World
world
in
went
disarray.
topsy-turvy.
My own mail truck. And
I
what
love
happens in mail trucks?
I love thinking that going into this movie, your first thought was, I'm pretty sure Janet Jackson is gonna have a nose ring. Tupac, I'm pretty sure he's not going to.
Tupac's definitely not going to have a nose ring. What?
Well, no, this time I thought I might have thought that the first time. But this time I was like, wow, here's the nose ring, and I completely forgot that.
Yeah, I
And
just think it's
Jackson is nothing.
it's just an interesting observation about the fashion, the 90s fashion. All right, so it sounds like you were pretty up on this. Like this one was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't awesome, but it wasn't terrible.
How was Tupac's acting?
It was alright for what he did. For the character he played, it seemed pretty believable.
Okay. I think this was this his first? No, it wasn't his first role. Interestingly, his first role is credited to Nothing But Trouble, which is funny because that's the Dan Aykroyd comedy. I don't know if you guys saw that. It is absolutely ridiculous. The Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy movie.
He just must have been because it says
it
Digital
was-
Underground.
Yeah,
so,
he was. There was like a cameo from Digital Underground.
So is his days back when he was a backup dancer?
Yeah, yep. And his first like real role was Juice.
Hell yeah, Juice.
He was in Juice. Yeah, he was in A Different World. Salt and
the Rim.
Pepper featuring En Vogue. What a man. I like how some music videos are. It's like on IMDb, it's like there's some music videos on here, but not all music. Like, how do they decide which music videos go on here?
Mm,
Above
good
the
question.
Rim,
hell yeah, Above the Rim. That movie was awesome.
Bullet, Gridlocked, Gang Related. Gang Related was his last movie in 1997. He played a cop, big cop in that one. Him and Jim Belushi.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Him and Jim Belushi are partners in gang related?
I think so.
Are
I
you
never
fucking-
saw it, but
Holy
I think that's what it
shit.
was.
Oh my god.
Shout outs to Jim Belushi on the new Twin Peaks, by the way.
It's on the new Twin Peaks?
Yeah, he's in the new Twin Peaks. But who isn't? I wouldn't be surprised if Tupac showed up in the new Twin Peaks.
Damn, that would be insane. just to let you know, because I'm looking more into this gang-related business. Jim Belushi, Tupac playing partners, right? You also got Dennis Quaid, James Earl Jones, Gary Cole in this movie.
Wow.
Like this, I need to watch this.
Yeah, I might have to add this one to my watch list here.
Yeah, I love that the first trivia is the word fuck and its derivatives are said more than 165 times.
Oh, nice. Nice. I don't know. I think that he could have had a pretty strong acting career had he not been killed. Like, it would have been. I often think about where Tupac and Biggie would be if they didn't get killed. Like, where they would be in their careers. Would Tupac have just switched over to acting, like, completely and not done the music stuff so much anymore? Or would he stick with the music? Like, where would they be? Where do you think Tupac would be now, Kevin?
Probably doing a little bit of that, a little bit of everything.
Do you think he'd be like Nas, where
I think he'd put out an album every now and then? But I think he probably would have. I think his acting career would have picked up.
I think you're right. I think he would have been in more stuff. I think there probably was one movie that was going to be heading his way that would have been the breakout, and that would have been the thing that like pushed him into, like Ice Cube territory, or maybe even above that, Ice-T territory.
Tone Loc is also in this.
Tone Loc should be in every movie.
I enjoy him.
That should be a rule.
Anytime Tone Loc pops up in a movie, I'm instantly into it.
I love that he plays a guy named J-Bone too.
J-Bone.
J-Bone.
So, were you a Tupac fan growing up, Ryan?
Yes. Yes.
Now, were you a Tupac fan or Biggie fan?
I like them both.
Well, you gotta like one more than the other.
It's a rule.
It's a rule.
But no, yeah.
What?
I think most people probably. I don't know. I mean, I think they're both very talented.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked both, but I was never really into either one.
Well, at the time, I wasn't. Like, back when they were big, I wasn't either. Like, but I wasn't really into. I really wasn't into rap music at all back then.
I think if I had to pick at that time period, I'm trying to think of who I was into at that time. Maybe
if I had to pick, I'd probably go with like the Spin Doctors.
I would pick like maybe Spice One. I think I was really into Spice One at that time.
Fushnikins?
Fushnikins, hell yeah. I was actually just thinking about them today. That's fucked up. I'm like, what's going on? I wonder what they're doing right now. Fushnikins.
I don't know what they're doing. Probably nothing. They probably have regular jobs at this point.
I would imagine, yeah.
DOS Effects?
Hell yeah.
They were around that time.
They were fantastic. Big fan of them. Black Sheep.
Oh, yeah.
I was obsessed with Black Sheep. EPMD.
Farside. At this
Farside,
point, we're just naming 90s or early 90s hip hop groups.
Why not? It's always a fun exercise.
Yeah, it's always a fun time to take a stroll down memory lane. All right, let's talk about John Singleton. So this is probably one of the bigger directors that we'll talk about on this show. Every now and then we'll venture into some of the bigger people that have actually recognizable movies under their belt. So he did Boys in the Hood is probably his most famous movie, his big claim to fame. Still love Boys in the Hood. Like that movie for me, it gets a little melodramatic. Like, it's a little cheesy now, but I still think that it holds up. Then he did Poetic Justice. He did a bunch of music videos during this time too. Like, he did some Michael Jackson music videos. He did Higher Learning.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Higher Learning? Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, love that movie. He did Rosewood. I didn't even realize he did Rosewood. I did not like that movie with John Voight and Ving Rhames. Let's see. Then he did Shaft. He did that was the remake.
Now, the next one. Am I wrong in remembering that Ryan was a fan of this?
Oh, Ryan was all about the next one, which was Baby Boy with
I have never
Tyrese.
seen that movie in my life.
Are you serious? No way. You love Baby Boy so much.
I guarantee you I've never seen that in my entire life.
You've never seen Tyrese Gibson in Baby Boy with
No.
Ving Rhames and Snoop Dogg.
I've seen Baby Boy. How is it that I've seen it and you claim to not have seen this?
I'm pretty sure he saw this.
I probably saw it at your house.
Because you guys try to make it fun of me, so I never watch it.
We made fun of you so mercilessly.
Because I like that one song.
Oh, so this is one of those instances where you bought the DVD of Baby Boy, and we hounded you with heckles and whatnot, and we essentially like put you into this like pit of depression where you never ended up watching Baby Boy.
That could be.
Or you bought the Baby Boy soundtrack and we're playing it and we made fun of you for that.
But at some point while you were sleeping, Adam popped it in the DVD player
And watched the whole thing.
He's like,
he
actually ended up loving it. And he's like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to mention this to anyone. Never happened.
I can tell you right now, I did not love Baby Boy. I didn't like Baby Boy at all. Mostly
I can tell
because
you right now, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes long, so I know the number one critique I'm going to lob against Baby Boy if I ever see it.
Yeah, it was long. It was one of these kind of. I mean, he was going for like a modern Boys in the Hood vibe, but it didn't work on that level. Then he did Too Fast, Too Furious.
Pretty sure Ryan saw that one.
Yeah, pretty sure you saw Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
That one I think was one of the worst ones in the whole series. Couldn't stand that one. Four Brothers.
So.
What did you think of Four Brothers? Did you like that one?
I did. That's when I watch this on TNT and I watch it all the time.
Oh, it's one of those TNT movies. One of those sweet cable movies. Did you see Four Brothers, Kevin?
I did not know.
I think I did, but
Is that a good one?
I remember very little about it. I remember that critics hated it, but if I remember correctly, I kind of liked it. Although I could be getting it mixed up with Knockaround Guys, which I think came out around the same time. If I'm remembering that. Knockaround Guys. When did Knockaround Guys come out? 2001. Oh, this came out 4 years later. Damn.
I remember the exact opposite. I remember very little about Knockaround Guys.
Well, I don't remember anything about that movie either. I don't remember anything about movies I saw fucking yesterday. So
Wasn't it Christopher Walken in that?
Knockaround Guys? I think I know Barry Pepper was in it.
Oh, Barry Pepper.
No Pepper action.
Be Pep.
So Four Brothers. Then he did a 30 for 30 documentary, followed by Abduction in 2011. That was the one with Taylor Lautner. No idea he did that one.
Is Taylor Lautner still a thing?
No. He's done. He's done.
Wow. I thought maybe he was like doing some stuff.
No, I think he was
in the old underground.
He was in some Adam Sandler movie, I think. Maybe.
I feel as though that's probably the only work he's getting now.
Oh, he's in the show Scream Queens on Fox. He's in 10 episodes of that. He was in that movie Run the Tide. He played a character named Raymond Hightower. I don't know why I find that name completely goofy, unrealistic. Yeah, he was in The Ridiculous Six, and he was in Grown Ups too. So yeah, he's doing some Sandler work. All right, what do we have for Singleton? I think that pretty much brings us. Yeah, that pretty much brings us current. He did an episode of Empire. He did an episode of American Crime Story. He did an episode of Rebel. He did an episode of Billions. He did 2 episodes of Snowfall. So I don't know. Maybe he might have been relegated. Might have been relegated to TV. Seems like he's been focusing on TV work lately. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like TV, I think we're in a really great time for TV. But the problem I always have with directors, like movie directors going to TV, is I feel like a lot of times they lose their voice when they do TV shows.
Yeah, sometimes.
Because like I watch that show Outcast on Cinemax, and I've been catching up with the second season of that, and they have some really great directors like Ty West and I think Adam Wingard did a bunch of episodes of that, and like they are good people, really cool directors, and all the episodes they all kind of feel the same. They don't feel like, oh man, Ty West directed this episode, so it's gonna be, it's gonna be something else. All right, Ryan, any final thoughts on Poetic Justice before we give your drum roll?
Worth a watch.
Worth a look? All right, let's go ahead and give you a drum roll. What do you give Poetic Justice?
5.
Oh, that's a 5, straight down the middle. I thought for sure that was going to be like a 6, at least.
I don't know if I get better. I don't even know if I get rated. What if I rated a 6?
What? What if you rated a 6? Well, what do you mean, what if you rated a 6?
You can do whatever you want.
What movies have I rated a 6?
Oh, what movies have you rated a 6? We don't have time for this. Yeah, I don't know. There were a number of 6s. I know for a fact that you had a number of 6s in the past.
I want to say like George Washington maybe is a 6.
I know Clown you gave, maybe Clown was a 7.
Damn. But yeah, we can figure that out. What's the highest one?
But just not better than Clown, but mighty stretch.
Okay.
You would think at this point in time, because we kind of run this, that we would know the history of Ryan watches.
Oh God, there's been, I mean, back when we were at like 50, I knew, but
yeah,
when we're 200 and we're approaching 250 of them, they all kind of bleed together. I will go through and start like marking them.
Yeah, just crunch some numbers on that sucker.
Letterboxd tells him.
Yeah, we could go Letterboxd, I guess.
Yeah, I'll look on Letterboxd and see what's going on. So, what do you think about this All Eyez on Me movie coming out?
I think the guy playing Tupac is a fucking cartoon character.
He looks like a cartoon character?
Yeah.
I think he looks exactly like Tupac.
His eyebrows are way too bushy.
That's what makes him a cartoon character.
His eyebrows are too bushy.
His fucking eyebrows, man. Get them shits under control.
Get those eyebrows under control. Maybe you'll look like Tupac. I'm actually not really interested in this. For some reason, like I was like Straight Outta Compton, I was into that. I enjoyed that.
Is it gonna be like that?
I don't think it's gonna be as good.
I don't know about that.
I would probably say it's gonna be closer to Notorious, which was the biopic about Biggie that came out several years ago. Like that movie was okay, but it wasn't anything memorable. I mean, looking at the director of this movie, Benny Boom, he really didn't do anything. Like he did Next Day Air in 2009, which was that Mike Epps comedy that looks pretty bad. So I don't know what to think. What do you think about this one, Kevin?
No thanks.
I just don't like. I know that it's like a Tupac thing, but I don't like the Z. I don't like the Z and Eyes.
Oh, that's what keeps you from watching it. Just like
well, that's one of the things. That and the bushy eyebrows. Jesus.
You feel make fun of my bushy eyebrows comment, but you're commenting on a letter.
Yeah. I'll comment on that and the bushy eyebrows all day.
Yeah. Tough crowd over here. I just don't want to see it because that biopics are terrible, usually.
I wish they would do interesting things when it comes to biopics. Like some movies do it. They try to present the person's life in an interesting way. Like I thought that the Sorkin Steve Jobs movie did the biopic in an interesting way, but most of them are just so paint by numbers.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't need that. I mean, Straight Outta Compton, I thought did it pretty well. It was entertaining.
There are more characters in both. More
I mean, like, yeah, but
interesting.
I think it's also a matter of like what gauges my interest. Like if they did a Wu-Tang biopic, I'd be all over that. I would be all over a Wu-Tang Clan biopic. That's what we need.
Make it happen.
All right, Ryan. Any final thoughts on All Eyez on Me, Poetic Justice?
Bushy eyebrows.
All right. There we go. Bushy eyebrows. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast at filmpulse.net. Follow us on Twitter at filmpulsenet, at filmpulsekevin, and at mylegsdon'twork. If you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/filmpulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
See you later.